Hello everyone, this is Neil DeConti from Neil's Model Works, and I am bringing you a new episode of the Dracula build. We will call this 3A since it's pertaining to reference material. I was contacted by Robert Magina, a good friend of mine, when he saw this project, and he told me that I needed to contact Scott Jezak on this, where he is quite familiar with this vehicle. So I contacted Scott, and he told me that a good friend of his was John Brighton, who actually restored and owns the number one Dracula. So I emailed John, sent him a bunch of photos of the project, and explained to him what I was doing and see if he could help with some of the reference that I was looking for. What John told me was take a ride down and take a look at it. So I jumped at the chance, and last Sunday, my brother-in-law and I took the 4-hour trip down to go see it in person. John met us with open arms and was more than happy to answer all my questions and let me take all the photos that I wanted of the vehicle. I took over 113 photos, and we were there for about 2.5 hours with John going over everything that he knew of this project. I actually videotaped the whole thing also, so I had the narrative of everything that we went over of the vehicle. The only stipulation that John gave us was he didn't want the photographs or video of the internals of the vehicle being shown public, which I understand. I get it. Want to keep that close to his chest. I get it. So we will honor that. So any of the revisions or things that I do on this project in the future, I'll be able to explain it to you, but I won't be able to show you any reference material on that unless I can find that somewhere else. And there's been a lot of discussion about this vehicle through the years on the number 5 vehicle is the most accurate to the original now, since number 1 has been restored and number 5 exists. And I have to dispute that. I've seen enough on the number 5 to make a determination that the number 1 is the most original. Yes, part of the chassis has been replaced. It's the front section up to the bell housing of the motor. But honestly, that's it. The rest of this car is pretty original. When John purchased it, it didn't have the motor or transmission in it, but he was able to track down the original motor and transmission that came out of this vehicle and put it back in. Can't get better than that. The guy is very anal over details, which I can relate to, and he did his due diligence to get this back as original as possible, and I gotta commend him for that. Well done. Now, with all this information in hand, I can go ahead and feel confident on getting this done as accurate as possible. What I've done so far is I have completed the chassis, got it all completed in brass. The only thing that isn't brass on the chassis is the bolt plates for the rear end to the chassis. Those were done in styrene. Other than that, it's all brass. Got the chassis done, got it primed, and this is what you see here. So what I have added to the chassis since the last episode was I've added the radiator support, the fuel pump and oil filter bracket, the correct steering box mount, I have updated the clutch pedal and the clutch pedal bracket. The transmission mount. Transmission mount is only a mount on the right hand side, which was unusual, I thought. The seat bracket and the skid plate under the seat bracket, they actually put that in for the drag race scene, towing Fred Gwynn as Herman on the back of the Dragula. There's some eye bolts that go into that they use to pull the stunt person around. The parachute plate that is on the back crossover tube, and also the body mounts. Also, the crossover tube that is where the bell housing is, and the one in the rear of the frame, that was cut off from the chassis, and that was actually lowered about a 1/16 of an inch to get the correct height of the chassis to body setup. Also added the radius rod mounts to the chassis. And that's about it. I think we're in good shape now. I feel confident that it's pretty damn accurate. And we'll go on from here. I'll double check chassis once more, make sure I didn't miss anything. And if not, I'll move forward. Next up will be the motor and transmission, getting that situated and getting that straightened out. The transmission is a complete change from what I've had before drawn up, and more info on that will come. Other than that, we'll see you next time around. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe and like and pass the word. And a special thank you goes out to Robert Magina and Scott Jezak for putting me in contact with John Brighton also. And again, I couldn't have done it without these guys, so I appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, and take care. See you on the next episode.